So welcome back to this third video of creating the face in Blender, the head. So in the last video we went around the head, we went around this chin and mouth bit, and then connected that all back up. So in this one we're going to first look at making a loop around the nose, so slightly different to how they've got it here, and then one around the mouth, and then sort of connecting that up and filling in. And then you've got pretty much the mask done. Obviously you can clean it up, add extra to it if you want to, and then it'll probably be one last video just to go around the head, connect it up here, and make sure you got a shape at the ear, and then a little bit down on the neck. I'm not going to do all of this, and then potentially one more just looking at the ear. So what we're going to do is we're first going to start off by selecting these three around the nose and just extruding these down. Doesn't have to be much, we're just looking for a little bit of extra geometry to work with. Go to the side, make sure it's sticking out as the nose would. So again, we're kind of going after how the reference loops are on the reference image, and more to sort of our own sort of design to get the correct loops. Like I said, I'm not too keen on the loops that are on the reference image. There's certain ones I prefer, but there isn't necessarily anything wrong with those loops. It's just the ones I'm not necessarily used to and prefer cleaner loops. So shaping this up. And looking at the front, so I want this to kind of start to come back on itself. So we're going to loop down here and then to the middle again, so it loops around the top. So once you get this sort of shape, it's coming down to here, we're going to extrude down and round. So again, you're going to get sort of like a 5-point star here, which we talked about in the last video. So just get the extrude tool, bring this down, extrude again, and then I'm going to move these, get the right shape. So you can sort of line it up with this that's coming around here, because it's kind of right. It's just this loops back on itself where I prefer it to sort of loop and connect. So you can kind of see what we're going to do here. It's going to bridge down, connect here, so forth, and go around there. Just try to follow this a little bit to the side. So obviously this is now starting to come out a little bit. That bit's fine. And then just a few more extrudes for the nose. So we've got great. Like we did in the last video, we can always delete some of these if we've got too many, or add more if we need them. We're still just trying to get that shape. So going to the side again. Obviously this is way off. So this is a little bit higher, so the images clearly don't match perfectly. What you may actually find is these are actually slightly further back because there's the little dip in between just under your nose, coming down to your mouth, so sort of like this area. This is why they've shaped it like this. Try and get that, which I believe we should be able to do ourselves. So again, just trying to line this up roughly correct. Said clearly images don't line up, but I'm going to try and do our best to get something that's close to it. Yes, something roughly like that will do. So again, that's given us a loop around the nose, so we can fill in the nose part quite easily and quickly. Another loop I look for is, so we're kind of getting this shape now. It goes over and the nose sticks out. You can have a loop around the nostril. So sort of like here, kind of see it coming around. Some have loops where I go down here, see over the nose, see it goes across and things like that. So from here, let's kind of bring this down. So I'm going to select these three and extrude them down. So now looking to try and get this circle going on. So yeah, what we're looking for is, again, this is going to be a 5-point star so that they can go around and connect up. Really here we're just sort of looking to try and connect this to the best fit and create this loop going round, and then we can start to fill in. So obviously the lip starts to come out a little bit here. That needs to come down, that needs to go to there. That needs to be pulled down a little bit. Pulled up. And really, now what we need to do is start going round. So if I extrude this direction, again, move some of these verts, sort of shape this up. Now, you might need these videos less and less because you're starting to see what you need to do. So I keep going back and forth from the front and side view trying to get it lined up, but it's really more about trying to get the right shapes rather than the reference being like correctly aligned. That's much more important. So you can sort of see I'm trying to get this curve here of how the lips would be. Something like this. Now again, this can be cleaned up at a later point. I'm sort of doing here. So really what we're looking for is that's pulled up. And again, we're just going to extrude and come round until we get back to the middle. Down. And one thing I'm thinking about also is these need to connect up. So I know I've got this one here, this one here, this one here. So this one's really going to go to here. So I can maybe bring that a little bit further down. Sorry about the noise of the fans if you can hear them. They seem to be going off quite a bit. So obviously this is now going to go to the bottom, more like here. This view. Again. And then what we're going to do is go back to the edge. Extrude again, and we're going to start coming in. So I know I need one for here. Really maybe That edge needs to be that bit higher. And then extrude again. There. There. Middle. And I'm just going to reshape these. So I know with this to be like much more aligned. You can sort of see where these are going to bridge across to. Yeah. So if we wanted we would probably want this extra line in here, so we can always add an extra edge loop here later on. We'll just see how things go for now. So first off, now we've got this loop, we can start to bridge. Well, I should probably check these from the side. Yeah. So these need to start to come that bit further out. So that's those two. Those two. Be disconnected. Grab the same. Two. And then they need to be a bit further out. As you can see, actually the bottom ones need to be sticking out a bit more. And we're getting the right sort of shape for it to come up. Right, a little bit. Yeah, so you get this sort of loop. So you have a loop around the nose, loop around the mouth. Now it's just a matter of connecting these up. So just to save geometry, I'm just going to get rid of one of these for now. Just delete dissolve edges, bring this one a bit further down. And I'm just going to bring this round, connect up down here. So there's two ways you could do this. The easiest way is to select here, control to here, and select that one, control to there. Just be careful of it doing this sort of thing. If it is, it's trying to find the quickest route to it. Got them selected on this side, and these selected on this side. And then I'm going to right click and bridge. And then I'm going to look down here for a number of cuts and just add a cut in there. Ooh, it's not doing very well. So forget that, we'll just do a bridge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that last face here. Do a loop cut. So a loop cut tool's over here. Just check that from the side, try and get that a good position. So it's usually a little bit further in. And then I'm just going to select these, bridge these. So this is all nicely connected now. See, there's quite a bit of extra geometry going on here. So again, could space some of this out, pull some of this back. Those nice smooth loops going around. Yeah. Now, I can see that needs to be pulled back. These are a bit far out. Again, just trying to look around the model. 3D space, make sure there's nothing obvious. There we go. a little bit, and so forth. So like I said, we can play around with them for ages, but we're just gonna leave it like that for now. We can always clean it up afterwards. The idea is, like I said, get the loops in, get the face done, then we can add extra loop cuts, we can add extra, reshape the vertices and things like that. We'll be here all day otherwise. So just trying to get that sort of shape. So now with the lips and mouth, one thing I want to be aware of is trying to get this in a bit like they have, which is quite nice to be able to give that little divot in the middle of the mouth. So I'm actually going to look at doing that first. So I'm going to extrude these down, and if you watch the Maya video, this is going to be kind of similar to what you do with the knee, of just trying to create this bit where the geometry is going back in. So this one, I'm just going to extrude this to the side, and then merge this vertex to this one. Give us that nice little loop that's coming around, and then to come down just to connect it up with where I want things. We're going to then extrude these and connect these up. So from here to here, we'll extrude these down. Let's do this in parts. Scale tool to help me here. Just reshape these a little bit. As you can see, we need to connect those verts there. Use the rotate tool a little bit just to help position those. Then making sure we're aware from the side we're about the right place. And then what we can do is go in, merge vertices at last. We're going to move these across. In. And then select these ones from here, extrude these up. So again, I'm going to squeeze those in a little bit, reposition those. Maybe look for it from the side. So these are going to start going out. Looking at it, this vertex especially needs to be brought back down. So these can be reshaped. So if something like that I'm looking at the moment, I think. And then once you're happy with that, shift selecting those and bridging. It's getting this mouth sort of shape now. And then control select those, extrude along normals, and extrude them a little bit and then just scale them in. So give you some shape. So some of these obviously need repositioning, and some of these by the looks of things. So obviously these ones at the bottom should be coming up here, creating that lip sort of shape. So we're just going to have to individually do this. So poly them up, should be coming out to about here. Again, we can add extra loops in to give that right geometry. Just trying to roughly get it right. The side, I think some of these need pulling back as well. yeah, we're just sort of reshaping, trying to find those right loops. So I think one thing is that these need to come up and these sort of need to go back. So seeing little things here, so like the cheekbone needs to come out a little bit more, that maybe needs to go back. So you'll see those little things as you're going around, like the chin. But again, for example here, the chin probably needs to come out that a little bit more. Correct sort of shape. So we're getting there now. Now I'm just going to leave the mouth like that for now, because for a later video I'm going to talk about mouth bags and how to create a mouth bag for animating and make sure there's something inside the mouth, so if you're opening the mouth at any point there is actually like the back of the mouth, the tongue, that sort of thing. But that will do for now. I'll just do one more loop just to sort of pull it in so the lips are sort of quite closed, if you will. So again, just going to select those, control to here, extrude those a little bit, scale them in. Again, these are more for the bottom lip than the top, but yeah. So as you can see here, I think some of these top parts of the bit of the top lip, these need to be pulled up quite a bit. Again, I'm just kind of going completely off the reference at this point and going more to what I'm thinking the mouth looks like, knowing off like the top of my head. But I will get reference to look at that if I was yourselves, because I've done many heads. You guys might not have. So I'm just trying to make this like top lip so it kind of goes back on itself a little bit. Let's look at that top lip from the front. So this is really the last very on the top lip, and this will go starting to come the middle piece, but really it's part of the top lip. I think this piece, or this bit, should I say, should be slightly further out. And then just the bottom really, so obviously this is going to be quite a bit in comparison. The bottom lip is much bigger than the top lip on pretty much everyone. So again, we're just trying to create this overhangs. So one thing we want to be looking for is make sure we've got an equal number on each side. So this one could bridge to that one. This one could bridge to that face, because inside the mouth bag you will connect it all up. This one to this one. This one to this one, and then that one to that one, which is fine. And we'll just leave it like that for now. Like I said, I will do another video on mouth bags and all that good stuff. If you really want, you could do just one last extra going into the mouth just to sort of close off that gap. But I'm going to leave it like that for now. For the length of the video. So you can see now we're starting to get this sort of mouth come out, chin, the nose. We're going to finish the eye, the cheekbone, all that sort of good stuff. The general shape is pretty good. No, not really too flat or anything like that. So that's good. Again, my mouth's a little bit high here, so I might just sort of grab. So now you've got the loops. One of the good things is you can sort of select the loops that go around and some of the others that you may need, and just sort of lower those. Those better fit. Should they fit from the side? You know, maybe pull those out slightly. Give it some of that correct shape. Another thing I want to do, I want to just grab this piece here, push that in to give it that little divot in the middle, just under your nose sort of thing. We can reshape this more. Okay, so the nose. So, like I said, we need these loops here for the nostrils so we can extrude them up and close them off. So, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to use this middle piece and connect this up to the top so we can cut off the side, and then we can look at trying to make a loop. So, I'm going to extrude this outwards. So back to normal extrude. Start pulling this out. And again, we're just going to do this a few times. I'm going to try and shape this around the nose roughly. Again, we've got too much geometry, we can always delete it later. We're looking for something like that. As you can see, that's starting to create the nose. Now, we can sort of connect this up, so connecting that vert to that one, onto that one, and then start to reshape some of these to give what we're looking for. So looking at this from the side, we might want to bring some of these back. Especially down here where it kind of goes under the nose. Be pulled back in. So again, you might be looking at me doing this and thinking, how does he know where these things go? It's all practice. I've been doing this for quite a few years now, so it does come with time. Everything becomes second nature over time. So yeah, roughly looking for something like that. Let's check it from the front again. Yeah, we're starting to get this shape, which is nice. Just pull some of these up. So you're getting this sort of nose come out now. It's perfect. So obviously we're going to bridge down to here. and try and connect up so that we've got we can sort of create a hole here, sort of thing. So what I'm first going to do, I'm just going to bridge from there to there and add a cut in there, so we can use that to our advantage. That's going to connect to there, and we're going to pull this up and out. Now the nose can be a bit fiddly, trying to get it to shape how you want it to. Obviously, you need to look at it's in the 3D, sorry, sort of see if you're getting the right thing. It's like here, it's not very, you have like a really sharp change of direction at this point in the nose, so we can add an extra loop afterwards just to sort of help with that, but we're not looking for that right now. Just kind of looking for the general shape of it. So the next bit, I'd actually sort of try and redirect so we can do the same with this, and then we've got a hole here. So again, I'm going to kind of come off the shape we have and try and start shaping it myself how I know the nose should look. So one last bridge here. Add the cut in. If we don't add the cut in yet, just bridge it, and then we'll add the cut ourselves. So we're just going to add a loop cut in here. Raise the verts. It's going to be like this sort of point on your nose. And what you're seeing here is there is a little bit of a hole, and we're going to use this to sort of close down and make a nostril. So as you can see, we've got some of this shape. Obviously, you can reshape your nose however you like. It's completely up to you how you decide your nose shape should be. Usually, you have sort of like a little bit that sticks out here on the side of your nose, and then obviously the middle part. Again, this might need reshaping. But what we're going to use is this sort of shape we've got so far, and just bring that in. So select those, straight along normals, do that a little bit, the scale tool, use, you can see we're starting to get this shape. Now, you're going to want to reshape this to best fit, but what we're really looking for is try and get a bit of a sort of small circle going on. It's going to be like sort of your nostril, like I've said a few times. So don't worry about any of this at the moment, because we've got this now, so we can just check we've got an even number. So a little tip, if you're unsure on how many edges you got, you can go up here to your overlays, turn on statistics, it'll give you a little menu here, and then if I alt select, it shows I've got 8, which is perfectly fine for now. Like I said, lower geometry, easier to work with, add the extra geometry later. So then, again, I'm going to extrude the normals and scale those in. Just look into pull them in. Just trying to make that little nostril shape. This is where we maybe want to straighten it up. Bring it up. So we're just going to pull this up, and pull these out. Again, this is where we're going to start reshaping now, because it's clearly not the right shape. Again, pull these out. Now, it can get a bit fiddly at this point. Just have a play around, try and get the shapes you're looking for. Really, what we're looking for is these to come down a bit, including these. So the nose kind of overhangs where the nostril comes out. And pulled in. So again, these should be coming down. So these two come up. Get this nice little hole where the nostril will be. And then I'm just going to clean up inside a little bit. What we're going to do with that is we're going to start doing some bridging just to close that off. So from there to there, from the bridge, there, bridge, and then there to there, bridge. So we've got this actual nostril come out. You can see it's now the nose. What we can do now is we can add a loop cut in here, and we can sort of take these edges we had here, maybe pull them up a little bit more back. Grab these ones, so the nostril kind of goes back in, pull them out a bit more, maybe even make that smaller. And now, I'm not going to spend too much time cleaning it up, but just to show you where we're at. Now got a nose, mouth, cheek, eye, and then just a few little things we can do. At this point, we can add another loop in here, like I said, and start to bring some of these vertices in to give that sharper sort of direction between the nose and where it connects to the cheek. Some of these come in down here. Obviously this will be a bit more even. You want to try and spread things out evenly if you don't want it to be like a sharp change of direction. Obviously up here, kind of come in, again up here, here. Try and check this loop cut. So that goes sort of up and over. So if we wanted to add another in there, we could do, which could allow us a little bit more geometry to work with. Like these can be pulled over to give us a bit more of a clear shape of the nose. This can be brought up, it could be brought down, then more spread out. What that allows for us here is this can go back in. Give us the actual like divot where just above the mouth, like teardrop sort of shape. These could be brought up and in. Down. Again, this is where, like I said earlier, we can sort of add extra little bits where we can just sort of clean up and make it look that bit more how we want it. Now, obviously, it depends on the character you're working on. If it's more realistic, you're going to have to add more. If you're looking for something more cartoony, then obviously you're going to design it in that sense. So also like some of these, I may redirect them to go around the outside of the nostril. Now, spread these out a little bit more, especially those inside. Something like that. And so forth. Again, it's just about tweaking at this point, so you get to see what you want. And make sure it looks right from as many angles as you can. So forth. So just a few quick cleanups at the end of this video. Bringing in the eye. So I'm just going to select loop. Extrude the normals a little bit. Scale that in. Just going to a little bit of time. Just the top comes down more than the bottom. So these are going to go inwards, but then they're going to come back out. So scale like that, bring them in. So I'm going to scale these up. Where it goes in, it isn't very much. Down. I'm going to do the exact same again. Let's try extrude manifold, see if that might be a little bit better. Again, we're going to scale that down in. This one's got caught there, so I'm just going to grab that a second and reposition that. Ooh. What's going on there? Something going wrong there, so let's just try that again. Okay, is there something going on here? We've got a double edge or something. Let's just check. Nope. All seems fine. Try just a normal extrude a little bit. So now it's going to go back out, so you can see it's kind of going in. Then you know, once it's kind of start coming back out like so. I won't worry too much about this because you've got to put the eye in and reshape it around the eye, but just try and give you the idea of what we're looking for. And extrude that. Skeleton a little bit. This will be sort of from the side, this is going to start coming in now a little bit. And then do one more to just start to go back on your eye. The way this really works is it's going to go right back in. And almost scale back on itself a little bit. The idea of that one is that that's going to be where your eye comes up to, around here, and it's obviously your eyelid. So press tab, now you're getting that a little bit more realistic looking eye. Again, the nose could be cleaner, play around with that. So just try to look for the right shapes, but I'll let you play around with that. And similarly with the mouth is what we've just done to the eye. So we're just going to kind of select the loop round, and we're going to extrude this back on itself. So get the extrude tool and just pull it back in. Actually, look at this, it's starting to go back inside the face now. Now to scale this up in the height, so it's starting to. Maybe just turn my references off here. Okay, so we're having a bit of issues here, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the top faces. So here, select them up a little bit, not much. Bottom edges to do the same. So your lips are starting to go back on themselves, and then we'd have again the extrude again. So again, you can pull this back. Now this is like the start of the mouth bag. But what we're really using it for at the moment is just to provide a little bit where it's going back. Now, some of this will need to be reshaped to match accordingly to the sort of shape you're doing. Could always sort of try and almost match what you had on the outside but on the inside. So again, you could add more geometry to this. See, you are getting sort of the face. Another thing you could do with this, just to show like the detail isn't necessarily being shown the best there with the shade smooth. If you added like a subsurface with a couple of layers, you can start to see like you're getting this divot here, the lips, the nose, the eye, cheek coming out. Obviously then you can start to reshape this, but you're getting the right loops, and that's the main thing. So leave that video there. Again, make sure you save. And next one we'll look at trying to get the back of the head sort of done and finish off with just the ear, the mouth, the eye to finish off.